Hello, beautiful people. Today we're going to talk about how to write a letter for a promotion at work. By the end of this video, you will understand the difference between please, I would like a promotion and I'm ready for a promotion. If you're writing a letter for a promotion at work, I assume that you know what role you want to get promoted into and that you're ready for that. I assume you also know that there's a big difference between asking for a promotion at work and signaling that you're ready for a promotion. And then we'll also look at 3 critical questions I always ask people when they tell me that they're interested and ready to get promoted. A lot of people ask this question, and I have to assume that you're all asking because you're planning on sending emails, not letters. There's a big difference between saying, please, may I have a promotion? Sort of think Oliver Twist, please, sir, may I have some more? And I'm ready for a promotion, and I believe I'm ready for a promotion. I'd like to talk to you about whether or not you think I'm ready as well. So one of them is, please, I'm looking for a fairy godmother. And the other one is, I've done my homework. I know what I'm talking about. I've put in the work that I think is required, and I'm checking with my boss to see whether or not they agree with me and what it is we are going to do together to get me promoted. There is nothing worse than going before a promotion committee, which in big companies, they often exist. So you will take your list of your top performers and you might have 5 slots open for promotion opportunities, and you'll sit down with the promotion committee who are making sure that people are being promoted fairly and evenly across the organization as best they can, and you're basically pitching as to why it is 5 of your people should get promoted. I was always trying to pitch for 6 just in case it was an extra spot. So you're pitching for why 5 of your people should get promoted. And the worst thing is if somebody starts picking holes in the person's readiness and that person hasn't done their homework and they haven't helped you help them get promoted, you're left standing there looking like a total moron. So most important thing to consider when you are asking for a promotion or letting your boss know you're ready for one is that you know yourself that you are ready and you firmly believe you're ready, you've done your homework and you know how to ask for a promotion. Having the courage to step up and say, I'm ready for a promotion is pretty significant. So give yourself a pat on the back, and you've now done it. You've put it out there into the world. You are saying, I would like to get promoted. So when you start with those conversations, they usually start with a good friend. You know, I'm thinking I'd like to get promoted at work. And then you have a conversation with the friend as to what they think is in it for you when you get promoted or why you should get promoted. And then you get more and more specific around where you want to get promoted to, what department you want to end up in when you get promoted. Do you want to stay in your current one? Do you want to move to a new one? Do you want to continue working for the same boss? If you have a fantastic boss, please stay working for the same boss. If you want to be able to move to another boss because you think there's a bigger opportunity with them, make sure that you're having the conversations very delicately with your current boss. But you begin to have those conversations and you begin to put your plan in place as to why it is that you're ready to get promoted. The other thing that you can do is do yourself a big favor and do my promotion readiness assessment. There's a link down in the description and it'll really help you get to terms with what the gap is between you thinking that you're ready and you actually being ready for your next promotion. So when you think about your interest in getting a promotion, make sure that you're not pitching or making the business case. So I've received emails from people that are 10 pages long telling me why it is they should get promoted. Email isn't really an effective medium for having that conversation. What I would find much more valuable as I look to help somebody get promoted because I think they're ready and they think they're ready and they're telling me that they're ready to step up. What I'm much more interested in is an understanding from them of the actions that they have taken to answer the 3 questions, right? Which I'm going to talk about later on. And once you've put that plan together, don't necessarily do it in an email. I would be much more inclined to write it all out for myself to make sure that I had it organized and ready to go. But I'd be much more inclined to write to my boss and say, look, I think I'm ready for a promotion. I'd love to talk to you about it. Can we set up a time? And I think it really is that simple. What you might want to do in addition to that email is say to your boss some of the wins that you've had. I've had some of these big successes. I'm super interested in this position, so that they can actually begin to assess your readiness and they can begin to kind of drop into your thinking and see where it is that you have gaps in order to be able to get to that next role. But I wouldn't do the 10-pager, which is like a business case or a pitch for getting promoted. Much more inclined to just write an email, say what it is you're interested in, say some of the wins that you've had, and ask for that intimate, much more personal, much more useful one-on-one. So when someone tells me that they're interested in getting promoted and they ask me whether or not I think they're ready to get promoted, I usually ask them 3 pretty important questions. Question number 1 is, what role are you interested in getting promoted into? And if I'm asking you that question, I expect you to know the answer. So the question for you right now is, do you know what role you want to get promoted into? Second question I ask them is, how much of that new job are you already doing? Now that sounds like a pretty tall order because you've got your current job that you're working in, and I'm now, as your boss, asking you how much of the new job you're already doing. What I'm really looking for there is not whether or not you've ousted the person in the rung of the ladder above you. What I'm looking for is whether or not you understand what's involved with the job, whether or not you've made offers to me that involve taking on small parts of that job, whether or not you have a roadmap for yourself to see how to get yourself to the next level. I'm not looking for you to have all of the answers. What I'm looking for you to do is to have done your homework and have done the planning and be realistic about what it is that you're capable of doing. And I'll help you fill the gaps. But if people come to me and they tell me they want to get promoted and they haven't done their homework, honestly, it's a bit of a yawn. And I really try and encourage them to go and do an assessment and see where they stand and see whether or not they're really ready. And sometimes I'll send them out of my office with a bit of a flea in their ear because they have not done their homework. And the third question that I ask people is, when do you think you will be ready? So if somebody really truly believes that they are ready and they have done their homework and they have a plan in place and they've spoken to the right people and they've interviewed the appropriate people to help them understand what this position and what this role actually looks like, and they've done all of that without ruffling any feathers and they've done all of that without degrading their current job performance, then I ask them, do they think they're really ready? And if they've done that, their answer is going to be, yes, I think I am. Once we get to that point, if they are answering positively for all of those 3 questions, now what I'm doing is I'm putting together a plan with them to see how soon we can get them promoted. And at that point, I usually talk them through the promotion cycle. I talk them through how many openings I have for promotions within the team. Again, it's coming against the same budget. And then I sit down with them and do a realistic assessment of when we think we can put them forward for a promotion. Most of the time, it's very rare that someone is really that prepped and that ready. I would love you to be. But most of the time what I'm doing is I'm having a conversation with them to identify what the gaps in expectation are versus where they are right now and working with them to fulfill those gaps. So even if you go in and you say, I think I'm ready to get promoted, I would like to get promoted, as opposed to please may I have a promotion. I would like to get promoted, I think I'm ready. Be ready to come out of that meeting with a long to-do list and a much more detailed plan than you went into it with. And make sure that you understand that that's actually a huge gift. You've precipitated a conversation with your boss that allows you to be able to understand the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that'll allow you to be able to fill that gap much faster than if you were trying to second guess them and do it all on your own. So get ready to have those conversations, do your homework, be ready to answer the 3 questions, and go and get yourself promoted.